Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for jumping on the call live, or if you are going to be watching the recording. Thank you so much for watching the recording and investing in your business and investing in yourself. And I hope that tonight you guys walk away with some aha moments. Excuse me, I'm burping my detox tea. I am really, really excited about some things I feel like God's kind of put on my heart. And so just bear with me, especially like if I don't know where everyone is from like a faith perspective. I'm not going to like get into the nitty gritty, but there are some really cool things. And I hope you walk away with a greater vision and a greater, just some excitement about your business and being a part of Arbonne and what he's called us to and all those things. So I really believe that God is going to do exceedingly abundantly more than all we can ask and imagine in our business. And so I want you guys just to let yourself go there, because I think from just conversations I've had with a lot of you guys this month, and I know several of you are new to the call. So welcome, Laura. Welcome, Franklin. This is maybe, I think, their first call. But a lot of conversations, and I was totally in this place before, that my vision, when I said yes to Arbonne, I said yes to kind of maybe sort of sharing products with a few people. Oh, it's Faith's first call too. Yay, Faith! I don't even see your face on there. That's why. And I had that kind of maybe sort of mentality, because my vision was like this big, like maybe that big. And my vision was, if I can sell protein powder to 3 people a month, then I can get my protein for 80% off. And I know that I've talked to some of you and have heard you say, like, my why for this business is I love the camaraderie and I love the products. That's great. But I hope tonight that you're going to get a little bit bigger glimpse of why that vision needs to expand to invite more people into it. So my favorite book, one of the verses in my favorite book is Proverbs 29:18, and it says, without vision, the people perish. And that word perish, the Hebrew word for it is pa-ra. Okay, so you're going to get a little Hebrew lesson there, pa-ra. And what that means is unconstrained. It's talking about when the women would take like their headdress off and they would have long flowing hair. And then it means unconstrained hair that's directionless and blown in every direction. Okay, so when you have no vision, your life is going to be like crazy, wind blown every direction. And so we're going to talk tonight about vision for your life and vision for your business in Arbonne. Andy Stanley says, vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction that it should be. Okay, I'll say that again. Vision, and this is for your life, for your business, is a clear, very clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction that it should be. Okay, and before we go on anymore, we're going to watch a video. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Just put it in order. Super excited about that. And let me find it. Okay. I'm going to watch this little video by John Maxwell. There's 2 videos we're going to watch tonight, but I want you guys just to listen. He's talking about writing your story. And maybe you have no vision for your life. Maybe you've never thought about where do I want to go, or maybe you've just done kind of what I did until Arbonne was just kind of took the next right step. You know, I graduated from high school. I worked really hard to get into college. I worked really hard for my grades in college. I was actually on Young Life staff for 2 years, but that was kind of, I knew God was calling me there, but I knew that wasn't what I was supposed to do forever. Then I felt led to go into the counseling field, went back at my master's in counseling, and I kind of was just doing this every step of the way, but I had no vision for like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years of like what my life could do and the impact that my life could have. and the big story that I really believe that God's writing in your life. So let's watch this video and then I'll come back.
That everyone has a story, but most of us don't write our story. Most of the people don't leave their life, they accept their life. Because we accept our life, we don't fill the pages with the things we need to fill the pages with. Acts and deeds, significant. And I begin at that moment to say, okay, I got it. I know what I want to do. I really want to make a difference. And even the little book that she gave me with the pages that were blank, and I started writing in that. That was 2 years before I wrote my first book, which was in 1979, called Think on These Things. And I share that with you because every one of you have a story. And when they asked me if I could come over and talk for a few minutes, I said, I know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about your story, not my story. And I want to share with you that the pages are blank, and either you're going to take up the pen and you're going to write the story, or somebody's going to write it for you. You're going to either read your story, or you're going to write it. And what happens is most people they don't read the story, they read the story because they've never understood intentional living. They've never understood that good intentions is not enough, because everybody's got good intentions. I mean, almost everybody wants to do well, and they've got good thoughts, they've got good intentions. But they've never taken the bridge of intentional living and gone from good intentions to good actions. When I'm in the business community, a lot of times I teach a principle called the rule of five. In fact, to be honest with you, I came back to the largest leadership conference in Europe. It was in Helsinki, Finland, over 10,000 people, major companies from all over the world. And the one request they wanted is they wanted to teach the rule of five. It's something very popular. In fact, I'm writing, I'm forming a book on it because it just works in business. It better work in your life too. Let me illustrate the rule of five. The rule of five says that if I have a tree in my backyard and I want to cut it down, and I have an axe, if I take the axe and I go to the tree and I swing the axe 5 times, hit the tree, I put the axe down. The next day, go out, same axe, go to the same tree, and 5 times, swing the axe, I hit the tree, put the axe down. Next day, pick up the same axe, go to the same tree, 5 swings. Every day, 5 swings. The axe, put in the same tree 5 times. Swing. I do it every day, never miss. If I do that consistently every day, eventually, let me ask you a question. What's going to happen to the tree? Eventually, the tree is going to what? Fall, absolutely. I mean, there's no question about it. The tree will fall. Now, if it's a big tree, it may take a couple of years. If it's a smaller tree, I don't know, maybe a couple of months. But the tree will fall. And the reason the tree falls is because I go to the same tree, I focus, I take an axe, which is a tool that works, and 5 times I consistently swing at that tree. The rule of 5 says to you and me that if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you want something to accomplish, if you designate and focus in on that goal, that dream, and if you have the right tool, in this case an axe. I mean, let's put it this way, I could go to that same tree every day and I could pick up a baseball bat and I could swing 5 times with that baseball bat. But can I tell you something? I'm going to work hard and I'm going to be consistent. The tree's never going to fall. I have the right dream, but I don't have the right resources, I don't have the right tool. See, the rule of 5 says you've got to focus on the tree. Now, I know some people, what they do is they go in the backyard and they pick up the axe and they 5 times one tree, and then they go to another tree 5 times another tree. You know, 5. It's a different tree, and they're doing it 5 times. You never knock down the tree. You just have a bunch of scarred trees. Did you have to focus? Did you really have to know where you're going? You have to have a dream. You've got to say, this is what I want to accomplish. You've got to have the right goal. You've got to stay focused, but you also have to have the right tool, and you have to be consistent. If you can do those 3 things, have the same dream, the right tool, and be consistent, things become absolutely beautiful.
Okay, thanks for watching that. I love that. I love that illustration because you guys, that is the truth of how you make this business work. And there's three parts to it. Okay. You have the right tool. It's a tool, it's a vehicle called Arbonne. You have to be consistent every single day. Unless you take one day off. I take one day off a week where I don't think about Arbonne because I could think about it every single day. And then you have to have your dream. You have to have your vision so clear that and so big that you can invite other people into it. Okay? Because I think sometimes we come in, and this is so normal. You come in with like this little bitty belief. You've seen something on Instagram. You've seen a friend be successful. You've heard about it. You've had great experience with the 30 days to healthy living, but your belief is like a mustard seed. And, you know, the Bible says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, like watch out. But I think sometimes our belief is so small that the consistency factor starts to fade, or that dream that you're thinking about is not big enough to really invite people into. And so they think, well, this worked for you, but it's probably not going to work for me because your vision is too small. So if you're listening to this call tonight or pouring into yourself on the recording, I really want you to be honest with whether or not you've put the lid on the vision of your business. Whether you've been in Arbonne for a week or whether you've been in this business for 5 years, you know, have you put the lid on the vision of your business? And I also want you to be honest about making the switch in your mind that there is no back door. And I think some of you, whether you started this last week or 2 weeks ago or even 2 years ago, for a lot of you, and I was in that place too, where there was this little tiny toddler-sized voice in the back of my head that said to me, it's okay to quit. It's okay. You know, if it doesn't work, it's okay. Nobody will really know. You can just kind of go on and you keep doing your counseling thing. And this was like a blip on the radar. But you guys, what happened to me when I hit district manager, and you guys have, a lot of you have heard me tell this story, is being on that run and just starting to bawl, listening to some silly instrumental music while I was on this run, because for the first time in my life, I could start dreaming again because of Arbonne. For the first time in my life, I could see past the end of the month and know, oh my gosh, this can actually help save my family from financial stress. Oh my gosh, this can actually help save her family, his family. What could we do for that person out there that needs something bigger than themselves and they don't know where to get it? And that's where those tears started coming from for me. And part of that was bigger for me because a long time ago, pre-Arbonne, pre-children, pre-having a counseling degree, I feel like God downloaded to me this specific section in my favorite book that is in the book of Isaiah, and it says, and your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt, and you shall raise up foundations for many generations, and you will be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of the streets to dwell in. And you guys, that was what I thought was my counseling practice. And I know there are people on there going to listen to this calls that are actually therapists. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having another job. And you might be listening to this thinking, this is my side hustle. I love what I do. It's totally great. But what got into my bones in that moment, way before Arbonne, was like, there are places that need to be restored in people's lives. There are broken dreams. There are broken bridges. There's broken families. There's broken lies that we tell ourselves. And I was being called out to make a difference. So that's what started 12 years ago, 15, well, longer than that. 15 years ago, that's what I had spoken into my life. And I didn't know that the tool would be Arbonne. But all of a sudden, all the pieces started coming together. And that's when my vision went from, hey, if I can just get 80% off my products and save enough money to not put a couch on a credit card, to like, whoa, impact, huge ripple effect impact of what we get to do in this business of helping people walk in greater health, helping them walk in greater freedom, helping them be the people that they were really created to be. And there's so many lies and deception that's been spoken into their life that I have an opportunity to come alongside of them and say, no, you were created for more than this. And when that clicked for me, that little toddler voice that was saying, it's okay to bail, it's okay, you can quit, no one will notice, or it's not that big of a deal. You guys, I had to shush it forever. And so for me, what that looked like was that I actually let my counseling license expire on purpose, because I knew that I was called to this business, and I had to slam the back door because it gets hard. I will tell you 100%, whether you've done another direct selling company, another social marketing company, or this is your first one, it is not always easy. People are not always nice. You know what? And they are the dream stealers. And they are the people that, they don't care about you. They care about themselves and how you make them feel. And you make them feel small because you're choosing to do something bigger in your life and something that they only wish that they could do. And they can. And that's the truth. And that's why you keep going, because you are the evidence for them that this could be a way for them as well. But I needed to slam that door because I had a really successful counseling practice. I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. And I was sought after. Like, I loved being sought after. I loved people wanting my advice. I loved the attention. But I knew that's not where I was called. And to be honest, a lot of times in this business, people aren't seeking after you. You're seeking after them. And so you know what they need before they need it. And you know what it can give to them. So I want you guys just to cling to that. And some of you might need a backdoor slam. And some of you maybe don't know. Maybe you're listening to this and you're like, whoa, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And that is totally fine. But I needed the backdoor slam because I needed to be obedient to where I was being called. So you have to be growing in your belief all the time. And that backdoor slam didn't happen overnight. I had to know and watch. I was watching people. I was like, if she can do this, I can do this. I was listening to a Discover Arbonne every single day. Every single day. I'd cook dinner and I'd listen. And I'd listen to a call and I'd go on a run. And there's certain people on SoundCloud that I still, to this day, if I go exercise and I have headphones in, I'm listening to calls because I had to build my belief. And you guys, belief has a sound. It has a sound, and you've heard that before if you've been in this business long enough, but it has a sound, whether you're over text, whether you're on the phone, whether you're on Instagram. If you don't believe in the core and the pit of who you are, that this business is what it is and what it's going to do for you and your family and what it can do for other people, people hear that. And I'll tell you, the people that are most successful in our organization, they get it. They have the belief in their gut, in that fire. And so that takes time. We can give you people to watch. The girls on Instagram that are flying through this business, they're not any more special than you or me or whatever. They just are consistent. They're hitting that tree every single day, 5 times a day with that axe. And they believe what they're doing is going to work. And you know what? It does. It shows up. And we're going to talk about that in a minute about science. But people will follow you because they're hoping and praying that your belief will provide them just a little more and a little bit more. That your belief, they're borrowing belief from you. Because I would if 67% of Americans have a $500 gap at the end of their month, that's a whole lot of people wishing and hoping that something would come alongside. And I just know for me, even from the health perspective, I was wasted with health problems. I had seen so many doctors, paid so much money, and nobody told me about what had happened, what could happen in this with nutrition. And you guys, that's the hope for health that we get to offer people. You have no idea what someone's struggling with on the other side of your Instagram. You have no idea, because no one's going to blast their crap on social media, right? If you do, you unfriend them. And I'm sorry to get a little fired up about that, but we think we know what's going on in someone's life and you have no idea. So please do not prejudge anybody. So they're following you because they hope, they're borrowing your belief, and they just want to improve their life a little tiny bit. Maybe it's their health. Maybe it's their finances. Maybe they need a friend. Maybe they need mentorship. Maybe they need camaraderie. this tribe of women in Arbonne, whether you've been in for a week or you've been in for 5 years, these women, sideline women in my business, are my best friends in the entire world. I've always struggled with girlfriends, always, like would much rather hang out with the guys. And I just felt like nobody ever got me, but nobody ever saw what I saw, which was weird. I've never been a play small type of person. And so sometimes that threatens people. If you have people who are okay to play small in your life, that's okay. You can still love them. You can still be friends with them. But when you want to play big, people shrink back because they don't know how to handle that. And I love that our Arbonne tribe allows us to have that camaraderie and really play big and make a huge impact in the world. And with that, health, finances, mentorship, listen for those needs. I had a couple conversations this week with, are you listening? They're telling you to sponsor them. They're telling you they need the 30 days. They're telling you what they need, okay? And be okay to say, I can help you with that. What would it look like if, and we're not going to get into a whole verbiage thing, but be okay with saying, I can help you with that, because we do have the right tool. So do you have a vision for all of your life, not just your Arbonne life? And I'm going to put a challenge out there, whatever stage you're in your life, do you need to have a vision for your whole life? And Arbonne's going to play a piece in that, but I want that vision to be big enough to invite a lot of people into, and it's going to be something bigger, I believe, than what you can even fathom right now. Are you painting that vision so big that people see people that you see in them? And hold on. Are you painting a vision so big for people that what you see in them before they can see it in themselves? Okay, people need people to speak life into them. We are speaking death over ourselves almost every single day. I don't know if you guys have ever read Crash the Chatterbox by Stephen Furtick, but he mentions that we have 80,000 negative thoughts about ourselves a day. 80,000 on average. So how many of you are going to be a life speaker into someone's life this week? Okay, make that a part of your vision. Get really, really clear on your vision. This is why I'm so big on vision boards, because you need to see your vision. You need to taste your vision. You need to smell your vision. You need to hear your vision. One of the things that's on my vision board is a phrase that says toes in sand, because for me, I will literally cry when my toes hit the sand in Maui when I'm a national vice president. I can hear the water. I can smell the beach. I can picture myself holding my husband's hand being like, oh my gosh, we're here. And God did this. I am just the vehicle in this, but I have to keep that in front of me, toes in sand. Because like I said, sometimes it gets hard. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, why did I burn the bridge? Okay, so I'm just going to be really honest with you guys about it, but I know it's worth it. And I know it's worth it and I know it's worth it for each of you. So I also really want you guys, when you're thinking of your vision, to speak in terms of I will. I will promote to district manager by the end of next month. I will promote to area manager. I will bonus. You need to tell yourself this over and over. I will sponsor 8 people next month on the 30 Days to Healthy. I will change 8 lives. Okay, because that's what we're doing, is we're changing lives. And why do you speak that out? Because you have 80,000 negative things going on in your head. You need to talk to yourself more than you listen to yourself. Sometimes we get so wound up in here that we're not actually speaking it out. I don't care if people think you're crazy. I speak out loud affirmations, and I speak to myself all the time. And my kids are like, Mom, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm just minding my mind. Okay. And sometimes I literally say, cancel, cancel, when I hear something negative go through my head, and I say it out loud, cancel, cancel. And there's science behind that. Okay. Neuroplasticity, real fast. If you guys know anything about neuroplasticity, basically you can still build neuronic bridges in your brain. You can change your brain chemistry by positive thoughts and affirmations, but you have to hear them spoken out. You can't just think stuff. You can't just read stuff. You have to say it. It changes your subconscious. So if you're stuck somewhere in your business You're stuck somewhere in your life. What are you telling yourself? Because you're not telling yourself the truth. And you might need to rewrite that. Okay? Okay, so we're going to watch. Do we have time? Yes, we do have time. We're going to watch one more video that I think is great. If I can find it really fast. Hold on. Hold on, let me get out of John. Maybe. Hold on.
The first time I realized.
I can't hear you right now. Okay. Well, we might be watching a video, or maybe we're not.
Don't be afraid to reach back to God's personal.
Okay, so let me preface this really fast. This is Andy Stanley. He's actually talking to church leaders, but I want you to hear what he says, because I really believe that it applies to your business as well. So I'm just giving a preface on that.
Call on your life to answer the question why. This is so important. Don't be afraid. As you
Sorry.
think about why are we doing what we're doing in student ministry, why are we doing this as a church plant, why, don't be afraid to reach all the way back to your personal call, God's personal call on your life. And here's why. This is in my notes. Your personal call is where you found the courage to take your first step. And you've got to stay close to that, because ministry requires courage. The most courage you ever had in ministry probably is when you told your Mom, I feel like God's called me into ministry. Dad, I'm not taking over the family business. I'm not going to be a doctor. Mom and Dad, I feel like God wants me to go into full-time. That took a lot of courage. In that moment, you felt called to something. You got to stay close to that. Wrote this in my notes too. Your personal call is where you're going to find your passion. You see, church work doesn't energize us. Come on, it's not about church work. I work in a church. Woohoo! I can't, There's something bigger than that. Your soul is tied to something deeper and richer than that. What was it that first got you into ministry? Behind your call to ministry, there was a why. This is why I want to serve God in this way. This is why I want to be a student ministry. This is why I want to be a pastor. This is why I want to marry a pastor and, be in ministry with him. This is why. Your personal answer to the question why is something you need to tap into, even within your division and your department within your church. You say, Andy, that feels a little selfish to me. It's not selfish, and here's why. You are a leader. And when leaders tap into their personal passion, they attract other people with a similar passion. The next thing you know, you have a movement. And the next thing you know, things begin to change. Next thing you know, your student ministry is attracting more kids than your pastor is attracting adults to worship service. Next thing you know, you're kicked out and you have to start a church. But sometimes, that you can stay, right? So here's the question. Come on. What is your personal passion? Why did you even step into ministry? And never lose sight of that. That's where you personally will find your energy, and that's where you will find energy you need to cast.
Okay, so your personal call is where you found the courage to take the first step. Okay, think back. Maybe it was last week, maybe it was a month ago, maybe it was 5 years ago. What is that calling that's on? Every one of us has a calling on our life that's specific to us, period. Like end of story. So you have to get in touch with that personal thing. What makes you come alive? Where is the thing that makes you come alive most? Intersect with where the world needs you to show up the most. Okay, get in touch with that and have the courage with that. Your personal call is where you're going to find your passion. I am not passionate about selling protein powder and lipstick. I'm sorry, I don't have a passion for that. I have a passion for changing lives in a radical way. And I have a deep conviction that I have been so incredibly blessed in my life that I don't deserve it. And there are so many people who are so less fortunate than me that need me to show up into my greatness so that my extra can be what they need. I have a deep conviction for that. And Arbonne's just my tool. Okay, that's why I'm partnering with Family Legacy Ministries. That's why I actually am calling the Miss Georgia, who just won Miss Georgia, so cool, saw her speak last night at something for orphans, which is, you guys know me and orphans. We were at a fundraising banquet. And she is actually working in a children's home in North Fulton. And I'm calling her tomorrow because Arbonne has the charitable foundation, and I really think they need personal care products. It's for women 12 to 21 who've been abandoned and are in the foster care system. So that, like, I get take vehicle, I get to do things with my business, and I have that deep conviction. Okay, when leaders tap into their personal passion, you start attracting people into your passion, and that's why your vision has to be so big. Okay, because if you don't know what you're passionate about, everyone's going to stay on the fringe. You haven't given them that belief. And so that's really what I want to leave you guys with tonight, and something just to think on, pray on if you're a praying person, journal about. What keeps you up at night? What gets you fired up? Why are you doing this? I'm pretty sure it's because you don't love selling protein powder. Okay? Even though we have awesome protein powder. But if you've been thinking the whole time I'm selling protein powder and lipstick and some really good foundation, you're going to have a business that's like this big. Because most people aren't going to come into your business because they're excited about selling protein powder. So give them something to show up into and start leading that way. Every single one of you on this call and listening is a leader. And I think somewhere along the lines, you started to think I'm not. You started to shrink back and say, maybe it's not me. Maybe people don't want to follow me. Maybe they don't want to listen to me. That's not true. And I really want you guys to show up into that so that we can make a bigger impact as an organization and just as people. So I love you guys. I'm going to stop the recording, and I hope you guys have a great night. I will stay on if anybody has questions about that.
Thanks, Kristen.